The sky over the North Sea burns red. The sound of thunder rolls across the waves, but it's not thunder. It's the roar of vengeance. Jets shaped like dragons slice through the clouds, their wings marked with the runes of Odin. Below, ships of steel and ice carve through the freezing waters, their sails replaced by turbine rotors, their hulls engraved with ancient Norse art. This is not the Viking Age, you know. This is the age of the Sky Raiders of Valhalla. The year is 900 AD, or what should have been, but something changed. When the northern lights exploded in a storm of cosmic radiation, the Vikings saw it as a sign from the gods. What they didn't know was that the aurora carried fragments of technology from a future civilization, data, materials, knowledge beyond imagination. Within a century they transformed it into weapons of air and fire. The Norsemen, once feared for their long ships and axes, now ruled the skies. Their warplanes, crafted from titanium and powered by engines forged in volcanic forges, could cross oceans in hours. The Valkyrie squadrons, piloted by shield maidens, became legends, and leading them all was Ragnar Stormborn, the warlord who united the North under one banner, victory or Valhalla. When the first Viking jet struck England, history split apart. The castles of Wessex crumbled under missile fire. The English kings surrendered not to men with swords, but to warriors who descended from the clouds, their helmets glowing like the eyes of gods. The world entered a new era of fear, the age of the Sky Empire. But power has a price. The gods, watching from Asgard, grew restless. They had given mankind strength to test their spirit, not to replace it. Odin sent visions to his seers, warnings of a storm that no warrior could fight. A storm of fire, of nuclear winter. But Ragnar ignored the omens. He saw himself not as a king but as a god reborn. His fleets grew larger, his ambitions greater. Soon his eyes turned west across the endless sea. Beyond the horizon, he said, lies a land no axe has touched. There the new Valhalla will rise. Armadas of steel longships and squadrons of stealth fighters launched toward the new world. They crossed storms, glaciers, and enemy defenses. But what they found wasn't empty land, it was resistance. The Mayans, wielding solar energy and orbital weapons of their own, met them in the sky. The battle of the heavens began. For days, the skies burned. Viking warplanes clashed with Mayan interceptors. Missiles streaked through auroras, leaving trails of fire. Ragnar's daughter, Astrid, the Winged, led the final charge, a squadron of Valkyries armed with plasma-tipped spears. They struck deep into the enemy's fortress, fighting not just for land, but for glory. When the battle ended, the sea boiled, the sky went dark, and the world trembled. The gods had seen enough. They sent one final storm, the Ragnarok tempest. Lightning tore through engines, freezing winds shredded wings, and nuclear fire lit the horizon. The great fleet fell from the sky like burning meteors, crashing into the North Sea. But legends never die. Months later, survivors washed ashore in Iceland. Among them was Astrid, carrying her father's blade and the data core of their lost technology. She swore an oath to the gods. Never again shall power rule over honor. The sky belongs to the brave, not the proud. She gathered what was left of her people and built a new order, the Guardians of the North, Wind Warriors who protected the balance between progress and purpose. They dismantled the war machines, buried the nukes beneath glaciers, and turned their knowledge toward rebuilding the world. Centuries passed. The empire became myth. The machines froze beneath the ice, waiting. But sometimes, when the aurora glows too bright, pilots in the Arctic still report strange shapes moving through the clouds, fast, silent, ancient. They call them the ghosts of Valhalla. Perhaps the Vikings never left. Perhaps they still fly, guarding the north, unseen by those who forgot what it meant to earn the sky. Because the real lesson of Ragnar's war wasn't about conquest, it was about control. The gods gave man the fire of the future to test his spirit, not his greed. And in every age, that test returns. So if one day you look up and see a flash in the northern sky, remember the warriors who flew with thunder. Remember the storm that burned too bright. Remember that power alone never makes a god, only honor does. If you believe history still lives in the echoes of thunder, if you believe ancient warriors might return with the wind, then stay with us. Because the past isn't gone, it's waiting for the next storm. Subscribe for more reimagined history where ancient legends meet modern fire.